what in the last week or two, we have seen an enormous rise in the price of these assets that we so beautifully talk about and share data on. Why is that? And do you have a deeper analysis than more people buying than selling?
Okay, let's go 1 year back. 1 year back, we the whole crypto market decided to kind of, let's say, recover, and in that recovery, we the cryptos that had product market fit, they actually made golden cross and showing strength in the charts. So Bitcoin made that, Ethereum made a golden cross, and HEX made a golden cross. And it's kind of only the moving averages of the prices, the 200 moving average crossing the 50 moving average. And so the charts really look strong for all crypto, and it might indicate that, hey, there's a trend reversal, maybe we go into the bull market. So HEX followed that trend and was quite strong 1 year ago. And then what happened is that PulseChain launch disrupted a little bit the HEX price. First of all, because we got 2 HEX all of a sudden. So it was, of course, when there's a lot of change, you have some people believing, hey, maybe one is dying and the other one is not dying, and then you start to swap in and out, and maybe you lose your positions. So you saw that happening, as well as I think that PulseChain and PulseX sacrificers were like people who sacrificed at the time when we had the highest prices in the crypto space. That was 2021. Right, so we had at the peak of the bull market, those sacrificers came in, and I think there are even many Hexicans who said that they did not even sacrifice because they felt like it's the peak. And so I even saw that people who sacrificed were not sometimes not the hardcore crypto people who buy the bottoms. So I think those people, all of a sudden, 2 years later, they just were, oh my God, like I have all of my money. And at the very beginning of PulseChain launch, it was even worth more. So, but for the last 2 years, they just saw this kind of events unfolding where just crypto went down, and they maybe even, just left the whole crypto space. And then all of a sudden they got the money, so they just wanted to cash it quickly out. And then on top of that, you had the Security Exchange Commission, like they're going after, I guess, the whole crypto space, and even after Richard Hart, who is the creator of PulseChain and PulseX. So that was, as we saw in the sentiment analysis, another kind of thing that made people being like in disbelief that, hey, this is going nowhere. So I think the selling happened there and the disruption happens there. But obviously these are great products, and so not everybody left, and there were people who were buying these cheap prices up. When we looked at HEX data, we saw last year that it was quite stable. Staking was quite stable. Of course, we decreased in all the, not in all the metrics, but in some metrics. But we have a steady use, and that for me was showing that there is really strength in the users, and it's just the matter of the sell pressure to withstand that sell pressure from the sacrificers 2 years late. And I think that's what we saw. Some people speculate, hey, it's still not over yet. And some people are like, all right, we saw kind of these bottoms. we had just a confirmation pump, I would say. We had a first really good pump in October. And now we had kind of a confirmation pump. Maybe sentiment is kind of changing around Richard, even in the broader crypto industry again. And HEX is making, HEX is making another golden cross, it seems like, on the chart. So it looks quite good. I think that's why we saw lower prices. Looking at the data, we have a stable user base. That's why we did not go to zero. And that's why there's so much volume and so much usage. Yeah, I'm talking here now for a long time.
No, this is a really good nuance. I just, and then recently, you want to talk a little bit about the whales too, and just, you know, stable product, obvious product market fit, you know, community committed to winning. And then we have a lot of big moves on the bridge. We have, you know, whales seem to be buying the coins too. How does that play? How does that play into, you know, the difference we've seen at least recently versus last year? How do you look at that?
I think that we are very well set up for bull run because of the cheap fees. Because fees will get really high, and I don't see them coming down. I don't see that on the Ethereum side anytime soon. They even are not really talking about proper sharding anymore, just proto-dank sharding, which might only help layer 2s, which means that it won't get really cheaper. Yeah, whales, obviously, we have actually big whales in the ecosystem, should it be PulseChain or HEX. And those whales obviously also want their asset being priced high, and they will wait until everybody kind of sells who wants to sell, so that the weak holders are washed out. And at the bottom, they will try multiple times to scoop up the HEX and then see if how many sellers are still left. And that's what we saw in October. We saw this rise, and then from October until end of December, it was just kind of very, very slowly going down, where you saw that, okay, the sellers are exhausted. And yeah, so some whales decided again to scoop up a lot of supply. One of the whales is maybe even the OA. So that's good news. If the whales think that we kind of bottomed out and the sellers left the system, then it's just really great, because yeah, then there's not much supply that you can buy. If there's less supply, we get those green candles. So whales play, as a summary, whales play a big role, and they will come and they will try to protect the price of good assets, especially where there are users. If you think about it, wouldn't the whales go to where the users are if the users are in a good product? I think they do.
Yeah, especially these whales that, you know, have shown to be benevolent before, and now they really haven't made any moves. I mean, even Godwell just came back on Twitter recently. I mean, he wasn't even active on there for a long time. You know, some of the biggest whales in our community, and then they come back and just start buying, start bridging, doing stuff like that. Like, is there more of a bullish sign to you? Like, is there are we overreacting to this?
So there's two things to it. One thing is that there were bullish signs last year, then we had this disruption. I think HEX would have been fine if we wouldn't have the disruption, because most of the sellers after the PulseChain launch came from those sacrificers, which you can see on chain. And so if the crypto market as a whole is trending upwards, and we see it in those charts, and I think, yeah, we can go into a new bull market. It's just very interesting if you think about the macro environment. If you think about interest rates, we have a different environment than ever before. So that's something to consider. Maybe it takes a bit longer, or maybe we don't go so fast up, but I think you should never make the mistake in crypto to not be in position. We have these 4-year cycles, which maybe it doesn't come true this time, maybe it comes, but it always happens so far. So it's better to be positioned than to be sorry afterwards. So everything looks well, everything looks nice. It looks really bullish for this year. Maybe overall crypto market will correct itself for a couple of months and then try to make new all-time highs. And the thing is, Richard even came out and said something similar. So that reinforces my understanding that, hey, it's really hard to tell currently if the broader crypto market moves up or down. Better to be positioned.
Well, are we correlated? That's the question too. Like, before everyone was screaming, "Oh, everything's going up," but we're not. Like, we want to be correlated, but then what if crypto chops sideways for a while this year? Are we decorrelated now that the whales have came out the woodwork? What do you think?
I mean, if you look at correlation metrics, HEX was the least correlated cryptocurrency with the broader market. So it was this interesting thing in 2021 that when we dropped from 55 cents to 15 cents, then I had this big question. All right, will we go down with the crypto market, or will we just make new all-time highs because we were decorrelated? And then the market showed that, hey, actually the broader sentiment affects HEX as well. And we just went into our bear market with all the other cryptos. So I think, yes, I mean, there is an effect on HEX, but when you look at the exact movements on a monthly basis or on a daily basis, then we're not so correlated. As you saw also in the last couple of months, where the whole crypto market moved, made pretty good gains, and we didn't move. And all of a sudden we start moving. So we do the moves differently. So we're decorrelated in that sense.